So Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio is back in the news again. Joe is probably one of the most notable fascist faces in American politics over the last 10 or 15 years. He's apparently punishing 38 inmates in the county jail for defacing American flags placed inside their cells. Their punishment, a diet of bread and water for 7 days. I don't know if Joe knows this or not, but defacing, burning, etc., the American flag is part of your First Amendment rights. Now, I would not deface the flag. I would not burn the flag. I respect the flag, but it's part of the First Amendment rights. Now, of course, Fascist Joe will say, or his lawyer will say, that prisoners have a reduced First Amendment right, or they may have diminished privacy rights, and so on and so forth, because they are not full citizens in every context. They are prisoners. Much like high school students are not full citizens. They have a reduced expectation of privacy, and they have a reduced First Amendment right to some extent. But you know what, though? This man is a poor excuse for a law enforcement officer. He's a fascist. He is known for putting prisoners in tents in the summer and forcing them to eat bread and water for 7 days because they defaced flags that, quite frankly, had no business in their cells to begin with. Just shows you what kind of a POS this guy is. Now, the fact that he's still in office there is a travesty, but I think also the fact that he's never sought any higher elected office is pretty indicatory of his popularity. We don't really want people like Sheriff Joe around. Unfortunately, there's a few here and there, and we have to kind of bite our tongues and let it go, bite our lips, whatever. But quite frankly, though, I think that Arizona's Attorney General should step in, and if not them, at least Amnesty International or the American Red Cross. To tell you the truth, to have 38 inmates subsisting on bread and water. Bread does not have sufficient protein. It does not have sufficient fat. It's really a starvation diet, and we don't even know how much bread they're getting. This man should be brought up on charges. It's one thing to say, yeah, Sheriff Joe, he's a real American, and he's punishing them for, defacing the flag. He's a real patriot. Yeah, you can be like that if you want, but quite frankly, the guy's a criminal, no different than those in the county jail, and nobody's got the gumption to file charges or strip him of his duties. And you know what? I'll tell you something. This should have been done a long time ago. This man has no business in law enforcement. He's a fascist. He's a brown shirt fascist. But the fact is he's still in law enforcement. I know Arizona is a very Republican state, but this really has nothing to do with being a Republican, a Democrat, a conservative, a libertarian, a liberal, whatever. This is about human rights. And we should not have prisoners in this country living in tents and subsisting on bread and water. That's not what we should have, and this is not a man that should be in law enforcement. And I'm not the first, and I won't be the last to say it. Shame on Arizona for turning a blind eye to this.